Hey guys, Toby Mathis here, and today we're going to go over estate planning for emergency. And it's really 6 documents that you should keep in your glove box in your car. I'm also going to do a little giveaway at the end, so stick around. And what we're really going to do is go over what happens in emergency. So I just want you to just imagine that something happens to your loved one or to yourself, and like boom, you're heading on to the hospital. You go into the emergency room, and you get there, and they're going to ask you for some documents. And if you don't have them, you don't have them. You don't have them with you. You may even have them drafted. They may be sitting in a safe somewhere. And so here's the documents that you should keep in that glove box. Now I'm going to do a couple that are the basics, things that you have to carry with you anyway, but your vehicle registration and your vehicle insurance card, just keep copies of those, photocopies in your glove box. Keep them wrapped up there. Do not keep a copy of your driver's license. A lot of people say, hey, let's keep a copy of our driver's license. That could open you up to problems if the car gets burgled or it gets stolen, but also it's not valid. You actually have to have your physical driver's license with you. It depends on the cop, but if you have a copy of your driver's license on your phone, that's just good. But I wouldn't leave that sitting there. You don't need to have that one sitting in your glove box. But here's the 4 that really, really you need to have a copy. It's going to save you a lot of heartache and headaches in the event of emergency. So your loved one, it's late at night, and I've lived this, guys. Something's going wrong. They run to the emergency room, and you get there, and you start doing your check-in, and they start asking for certain things. The insurance, you should, obviously you should have that. That's going to be something you're keeping in your wallet. But the other documents they're going to ask, power of attorney. Do you have a power of attorney? Keep a copy of your healthcare power of attorney in your glove box. People say, well, what if somebody breaks in and steals it? There's no identifying information on those documents. It should just be a signature with somebody's contact information. It's not something that's going to hurt you if somebody goes in and steals. It just says, here's my name, here's who I am, and here's who I designate in the event I'm not able to make decisions for myself. I would write copy on it so everybody knows that it's not the original. But you want to have that it close to you, because what happens is you get to the hospital and they ask for that, and now you're like, shoot, does somebody have to run home? Where is it? What if it's in the safe? Is it on the not up? It's sometimes that both spouses know exactly where everything is, but it's somewhat rare, right? You want to just keep a copy there. Now, the original, keep it back in your binders. I use binders like, I'll give you guys a copy of an e-version of this emergency binder that you can get a physical version. I'll put links, how about that, into the show notes. But you can get a free e-version. All you got to do is write free binder, and I'll send you a link to it. Or if you want to buy a physical binder, you certainly can. They're fairly inexpensive, but they keep everything all tidied up. But if you're like me, I like to have things bound. You keep your originals there, but a copy, go ahead and put it in your glove box. In addition to that, medical power of attorney or healthcare power of attorney, depending on your state, I would also include a medical emergency contact card. I would have something that lists out the people that should be contacted in an emergency, because chances are, if it's your emergency, you're not going to be able to do this. Now, if you're married, you may have, spouses know everybody's people and they have their contact, but not always. It's helpful to have it. And again, I put it in my emergency binder. There's actually that information. You would have something like that, and then you would just keep a copy of it so that if something bad happens, here's who we contact. And again, if you're not married or your spouse doesn't know all your friends or things like that, then it's very helpful to have all that information in a single spot where they can pick it up and say, hey, Toby's in the hospital. This is what's going on, and da-da-da-da-da, and you just, boom, write down the list of who needs to be contacted. Another document that I would keep is just something that notes your medical allergy. So that would be number 3 of the medical documents, is a medical allergy list. Again, I've seen this firsthand. You go in and there's a interaction with drugs because people did not know that somebody had an allergy. And they'll oftentimes try to prompt that information. It's so much easier if you say, here's a list of their allergies. Even better is if you also have a list of the current medications. So if you can walk in, emergency, all heck's breaking loose, you're not thinking straight, you're nervous, boom, here's medications, here's allergies. They get it into put it in the system so that there's not these interactions, and it saves a lot of time. The fourth document that I would have that is from the estate planning side or on the medical side is a living will, and that's your end of life decisions, making sure that somebody is your advocate in the event that you're not able to answer questions for yourself. So you have a power of attorney, which is, hey, I'm incapacitated, I'm unconscious, I'm going through a surgery, and they need to talk to somebody, or they need to be able to communicate with somebody who's in the right state of mind. And then there's also end of life decisions. Do you want extraordinary measures taken, or when is it appropriate to cease life-saving measures? And they want to have somebody designated. A hospital is going to want to have somebody designated that they can legally communicate with and speak to. And in addition to these, I would say that as part of your power of attorney or as part of your living will, make sure that you have those HIPAA releases, that you have a HIPAA release as part of it. So your healthcare power of attorney generally has HIPAA releases included so that the hospital can share your medical information with whoever you designate. Otherwise, it can be a bit of a mess. Trust me, if you are in an emergency, you are not going to want to go searching for these documents. If you just keep it in an envelope, even put it in a Ziploc or something like that, one of those quart Ziplocs to keep it so that it never gets wet or anything, just in case you're in a moist climate or something. Put it someplace where it's easy to identify and grab. Envelope or a bag or something that makes it stand out so that in the event of emergency, you can grab it. Now, I recently had a friend and client who passed away, side of the road, had a heart attack, rolled off the road, and they were digging through, trying to find documents. They were trying to find emergency contacts. They ended up contacting an ex-girlfriend that they found through some database somewhere, who then reached out and contacted me, and all the information that they needed, because they ended up passing, was organ donation. Usually that's on a driver's license. In this particular case, they didn't have it. So they were saying, hey, does this individual want to have organ donation? There was emergency contact that would have been helpful to have, as well as just having somebody there that they could contact so that they could come down to the hospital and act on their behalf. Now, luckily, they had all the documents prepared. Unfortunately, they did not survive. And those things became really pertinent, and it was helpful that they were able to find somebody quick enough. It would have been a real mess if they couldn't find somebody quickly. Somehow, somewhere in some database, the police managed to figure out, or the hospital had an ex-girlfriend who then knew enough to contact me, who we were able to get the answers to them quickly. It's so much simpler if you just have it there in the glove box. Somebody will go through, find it, hopefully. First responders may not. I used to think that they always would the police will more than likely do it, but your EMTs, your ambulance folks probably aren't. But somebody eventually will get through there, and it is so helpful to have that information. Just kind of bonus things that you might want to keep around is your health insurance card. Usually you have that with you, but if you want to keep a copy in your glove box, it doesn't hurt. The organ donor status card, if you have that. If it's not on the driver's license, you may have something that's a secondary that's saying that you want to make organ donation. Sometimes that's part of your power of attorney. And that list of medications, obviously. You could do it as part of the medical allergy list, but maybe it's something you just keep separate, so that in the event that you end up in an emergency, or even if you're just going to the doctor, it's helpful just to grab that and say, here's a copy of all my current documents. Here's all the medications I use. Here's my allergies, just to make sure that there's not a mistake, because it hurts you if it does. All right, guys, I told you there'd be a freebie. I already told you I'll give you a free emergency binder, the e-version. All you got to do is put free binder down in the comments. I will send it to you absolutely free. If you want a physical like this one, it's all nice and done up. I think they're a couple $100. I'll send it. Maybe they're on special. We'll send you a link or put a link up in the show notes if you'd like that. Share this with anybody that you care about, because it does save so much time and anxiety if you have those documents handy. Like and subscribe if you can. Share this with anybody that you think would benefit from that information, and I'll see you guys later.